Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka Mini Wargaming Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. For a lot of new people, we talk a lot of painting and we talk a lot of what's under the sun. So basically, this is for you viewers to ask me questions on, or even ask the monkeys themselves as well, for any kind of painting tips and information, and basically anything that's kind of troubling you, and you're just stuck on something, and you need just a little bit of help. You need a little bit of advice, you need a little bit of coaxing, or what have you. And of course, you can always send your questions by email to Kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below. And of course, I'm happy to answer your questions. And of course, you can also send pictures of what you're working on, because pictures worth 1,000 words. And it definitely helps, to see what you're kind of having problems with, or if you just want to show off what you're working on, or you want to show your work in progress, or you could be a commissioned painter and you want to draw up some extra exposure. Feel free to send me pictures of your work. And again, it's all about the community. It's all about expanding the community. It's all about helping the community. And everybody just loving their hobby. That's what it really is. It's all about love. I can see a lot of monkeys already joining us today. I can see the Knit Fink. Hello, everyone. Mini Warcrafts. Hello, all. The Grunt Orc. Hey, guys and girls. Or should I say monkeys? Spite you. Okay, monkeys. I got to skip this episode going to the big city with the old lady. See you all next week. You too, Kris. What's the big city? Which big city is that? Mark Hill, hey Kris and guys. Kurt Krishon, morning monkeys. Russ Evans, good morning. But you, oh man, it's sad to miss the episode. Bye monkeys, bye Kris. He's so sad. Mad Cow Crazy, I was just about to watch the GSC battle report. Now I gotta wait till the show is over. First world problems. Yes, that is some first world problems right there. Oh my god, what do I watch? All this entertaining stuff on the internet, on my hobby that I love. And, where do I decide to spend my viewing time? Excuse me. Mini Warcrafts. Anyone else painting 200 plague zombies today? No, I don't think that's something that a lot of people would take on. 200 plague zombies, that's a lot of zombies, dude. Hopefully you have an airbrush to help you along. Hopefully you have spray cans at the very least to help get that job done, because man, I'd go blind. The Grunt Orc. Thankfully not me, Mini Warcrafts. Holy man. And then we go on like that. And it goes on like that. Lazy Monkey. Sure, I'll help as long as the quality is not an issue. I can slap a couple hundred uglies with terrible paint jobs. Yeah, but that's the thing with the zombies, though. I mean, like, you can hit them, say, with, like, like a pale green. Give them a wash of, like, purple or green. And then give them a quick dry brush of, like, elf flesh or something like that. And you're done. 4 steps. You're done, At least that's how I'd quickly get to 200 of them anyway. But again, still would go blind. Mark Hill, I'm busy with my Rasta orcs, making shades for some and pot pipes. Pot pipes? Pot pipes? Kurt Krishon, you need to use the Army Painter method. Base coat them all, color primer, then wash them in a suitable color, then a single highlight layer. Done. Yeah, that's... See, Kurt knows the game. Yeah. Lazy Monkey, dip them. You can also dip them. That's also a thing. Clayton Tate, hello, hobby kiddos. Clayton Tate, there he is. Haven't seen that guy's name around in a bit. Prawn Hamdance, hello, monkey people and Kris. Monkey people. Ghost to Starman Deluxe. Sadly, my day was dedicated to getting through a buttload of homework. A buttload of homework. That sounds like a lot of homework. Probably won't be able to sit down. Thomas Huntley, hello all. Ishyab011, hola Kris, Sammy C here. Might be a lousy day outside in old New York, but it's a bright and shiny day, able to catch a live show Way the Brush. Actually, it's kind of cloudy here today too. I find that the weather system does travel like along Ontario and then heads into New York like that, and so pretty much any crappy weather we're seeing, you guys get too. So yeah. Call King 555. Good morning. Prawn Hamdens. I wish I had a picture worth 1,000 words. Would have saved me a lot of work when I was at university. Nomag 23. Hi all. Hi Nomag. Call King 555. I have a challenge for you to eat one bag of all dress after the next Blood Bowl. Eat a whole bag of all dress? That's easy. Man, I do that just for a snack. I do that when I'm out of breath and I just have a whole bag of Doritos and just eat it. No, I don't. Come on now. Who doesn't do that? Hugh Gange, holy moly, it's been way too long. I'd say so, Hugh. I guess you've been busy doing other stuff. Who knows? But welcome back. Are you coming by for a visit anytime soon, Hugh? I don't know. Prawn Hamdens, was there a giveaway I missed recently? But being so busy this last month. No, I was going to do like an episode 30. I was going to do a giveaway. But I think I'm going to save the giveaways, till like probably December, I guess. I don't know. Giveaways. And then I was also thinking of maybe just doing kind of like from now till then, doing giveaways. And then, just give something away. I don't know. Because there is a lot of crap sitting around here that I could probably just, raffle off. I mean, would you guys really want like a miniature? Would you guys want a miniature? I have like a bunch of miniatures that are just taking up space, and I probably should just get rid of, but I don't know. Who knows? Wargren, good day everyone. Quirk, painting orcs like a boss. No, you're painting orcs. You're painting the orcs, boss. You're in the other room, dude. Adam Rivet, hi Kris, I'm back. I had to miss last week's show as I was vacationing in Maui. Wow, very nice. Never been there. I'd love to go. Sounds awesome. Probably work on your tan, do a little bit of surfing, or fishing at least, or just chilling out and sitting by the water. Hugh, Kris, can't wait for Orktober. So I think you're coming for a visit in October. Thomas Huntley at Prawn, no giveaway. He promised to dress up as Santa at Christmas, though. He mentioned presents. Oh, yeah, Christmas. Yeah, or we could just save it all for a Christmas special where I'll dress up as Santa and we'll give away. No, Windows, I don't want to restart. Are you... I started with this computer, this Windows... I run this show off a Windows computer. I like Windows because it does things on its own without telling you. And... without your permission, piss off. There we go. Oh, this Windows 10, I swear to God, it's annoying. It's just annoying. That's why I play with Macs. Before we get into the whole Mac versus Windows thing. Wargren, like a boss, giving him to Steve and let him do the Edge highlight. Clayton Tate, Mini War Gaming Blood Bowl. So stoked. Yes. A lot of fun. We haven't quite finished everything yet, but yeah, a lot of fun. Missed it, man. It's been, like my team is the old timers, and anybody who probably didn't notice, but my human team is the second edition Blood Bowl team, which was like 1993, 92 or 93, I think. So there's some old models, and of course that's why I called the team the old timers because, well, there's some old models, and yeah, a lot of fun. Human teams. I mean, like, I like humans. I don't know why in Blood Bowl. I just like humans. Usually, I can get the ball moving. And they're cheap enough that when it comes time to replace them and stuff like that, it's not hard to replace them. And so yeah, Blood Bowl. For any of you guys out there who's not familiar with Blood Bowl, it's a good beer and pretzel game. It's the kind of game that you can just play like 2 hours sit down with your buddies and just have a few laughs and, kick the crap out of each other. And, even losing is not bad. It's a lot of fun. Prawn Ham and Ends Christmas present giveaway. Cool beans, yeah. Quirk. Nah, he doesn't get the privilege. Okay. Hugh, job has been keeping me busy and hip has been bad. I'll be there in October. Okay, cool. Adam Rivet, ES Minis. Yeah, just give away some crap, yeah. See, because I'm always thinking of the giveaways as being like, kind of like, I don't know, giving away a box set of like, paints, or a box set of miniatures, or a game, or what I mean, like the box game or something, something like that, right? And not just as simple as giving away a mini or giving away DVDs. Although I'm still sitting on a bunch of DVDs. It'd be nice if we had some freshly printed ones of our later stuff, but you never know. We might still be going back to that kind of model. But yeah, it'd be nice. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Christmas Eve, Way the Brush would be awesome. Christmas Eve? I don't know about Christmas Eve. Just because, I have family. I'm sure you guys have family. And most of us are busy. It would be kind of fun, I think it would have to be earlier in the day, though, if we did something like that. Kind of pre-dinner time kind of thing. Well, at least pre-dinner time for us here in North America. For a lot of folks in Europe, that'd be like, the afternoon and early morning kind of thing. So, I don't know. Clayton Tate, Blood Bowl is the game of our gaming group. We have a dedicated player who manages a proper season with mandatory players, our games per month, a playoff period at the end with trophies and everything. That sounds awesome. And in hindsight, yeah, I really wish we would have spent more time with our regular season before jumping into our, our playoff kind of thing. Not enough. The season's not long enough. In regular NFL, you get every team gets 16 games before the playoffs, So, yeah. Bill Matwig. Good morning, Chris. How goes the way today? The way is flowing well. The way is good. It's all good. Everything's good. As long as everybody's good, everybody's asking questions, and of course everybody's painting and enjoying life, and I think it's all good. At least I think, anyway. I don't know. Could be wrong. Maybe we should be doing something more constructive. I don't know. Maybe some of us have to work on the car. Some of us have to rebuild that deck. Some of us have to go with their old lady and get groceries. Feed the baby instead of watching this. I'd really hate to think that somebody was neglecting their child and watching this. Please don't send a picture of that in either. Where am I? Prawn Hamlins. We should have a Christmas demo special. Now the demos, I was thinking today, I was gonna. I got into the studio a little late today, but I was thinking of setting up the other camera, and because I've got Eldrad and I'm currently working on him, and I was thinking of just kind of like working on him while I was answering questions today, and so maybe next week I'll work on something while we're all sitting here giggling and asking questions, because I gotta get more painting in. I'm constantly fighting painter's burnout. I'm constantly at odds with that. It's always like right there. It's like at the door, it's knocking, and the doorknob is like turning, and it's like that horror movie. And he's like, you hear that wink, wink, wink. It's coming through, and I'm just constantly keeping it at bay. And I don't know, like a lot of people ask about, how do you fight painter's burnout? How do you come back from it? I don't know. Find something that re-inspires you, I guess. And I recently picked up Eldrad, and I'm kind of excited to paint him, and I'm going to paint him mostly like if he's a Samhan Farseer. So I'm not going to be painting him like, black and, the typical Uthwi kind of colors. I'm going to be doing him in red and black and white. So, yeah. The Grunt Orc. Kris, monkeys would love any random mini that's done by the head monkey himself. I'm sure if you decide to make some space on your shelves. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, like, there's a lot up there, you know? There's a lot. Because there's even a lot that were, like, with, like, the DVDs that I did with the DVDs. And I thought, you know, that actually would be a pretty good kind of giveaway. Was, like, the DVD with the model. So that you can watch the DVD, see how I did it, and look at the model. And, you know, and see the nuances and stuff like that. And kind of, you know, really kind of delve into, you know, the experience, you know, the lesson, I guess. But anyway, Clayton Tate. I played the undead themed on Undead Pirates. Davy Jones, Salty Seaman. You're making that up. Very cool. I like humans. I mean, I play elves in a lot of game systems. Although if I was to go Age of Sigmar, I'd probably go with the little fire slayers because little troll slayers are like some of my favorite looking models in fantasy and stuff like that. So I think it'd be a lot of fun. Again, in Battlefield Gothic, I always play Eldar. 40k it's Eldar. Usually it's a lot of elves and stuff like that, but Blood Bowl, it's humans because middle of the road, and they're fun, and it's a challenge playing with them. Unlike lizard men, I'm just gonna pick an army from the list and in the net, and I'll work out a roster.
Okay there, Mr. 4 rerolls.
I paid for my 4 rerolls.
I paid for my Sauruses.
Yeah, Josh and his lizardmen.
Big complainer.
Get in here if you're gonna get in here.
Oh, I'll just kind of come through like that.
Come through sideways. Well, you gotta come in like.
Looks like a big earthworm.
You are a big earthworm. Smell like an earthworm anyway.
Whoa.
Oh.
You see the Fire Slayer army came in too?
Yeah, seen it yesterday. Where are we? Dr. Santos. Oh, Dr. Santos is joining us today. Awesome. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Clayton, question is, do you have a fistful of them? Black Widows P61. Black Widow P61. Good afternoon, monkeys. Good afternoon. Prawn Hamden's, ooh, an Eldrad demo would be wicked cool. Yeah, I kind of thought that would be kind of different, kind of change the pace. Back in the early episodes, I don't know, for a lot of you, I don't know if you guys been, like, a lot of you been following since, I started, like, with episode 11 on YouTube. Demos were kind of a regular kind of thing because that was the kind of the whole point of the show, right? Was, you guys ask a question and then I would, explain it live and, that kind of thing. And allow you to, get your feedback right away, and so you could ask questions like follow-up questions, and so So again, maybe it'll return. I mean, I was gonna try and do it today, but I couldn't get out of bed. Bed was just too comfy today. G squared. Hey, you monkeys, better late than never. Enyabu. I never know how to say that. Inyabu. Anyway, hey Kris and fellow monkeys. Prawn Hamden's fighting burnout involves buying more things. It isn't a very effective long-term strategy, though. No, and in fact, burnout. I mean, like, because how we talk about like not having too many projects in front of you. So if you go out and buy more and more models, you're just piling on more and more projects to have to get through, right? And like right now, like I haven't worked on any of my Bandai kits. I'm still working on my Millennium Falcon. And I'm still sitting on the Darth Vader TIE Fighter. I'm still sitting on another TIE Fighter. I'm sitting on my Y-Wing. I'm sitting on an A-Wing. And I still have yet to get my Interceptors. So, my projects are piling up too. And I also want to get the Snowspeeder and, all sorts of stuff, Those are the ones that really kind of get me going, because, I mean, like, I've been eyeballing a lot of other things online lately. I've been thinking about picking up like a Revenant Titan. I think would be a lot of fun to pick up. And is that a Rorschach test? Here, hand it here. I don't know. Okay, Cork is in behind me. Ooh, jeez, Louise, it's just soaked.
Yeah, I may have spilled the wash.
Oh, you dum. Oh, you spilt the wash. Awesome. Thank you for handing me a wet rag.
No problem.
Awesome.
I do it because I love. I'm leaving this here. It's garbage. Man.
It's not garbage. Just throw.
My hands are turning green, and I'm not even touching the green spots.
You just throw in the laundry. What do you mean? That was a whole rag.
You want to keep it? You throw it in the laundry.
Wasteful.
I'm part of the generation.
Wasteful. Yeah, your generation. Your generation.
Yes, my generation.
Damn kids.
Damn old people.
Painter's burnout. Must be like writer's block. So much I want to get done. Seems like a mountain to get over. Just need time and money. Well, with the painting, it's not always the money part, but yeah, it's the time. It's the time, and then, sometimes like I said, like you just sit there and you're like, oh, I got this project, but I mean, like usually usually it's the time, right? I mean, life takes precedence first. So you got to take care of the bills. You got to take care of the family. And then sometimes at the end of the day, you're like, you gotta sit down, you got that hour to yourself, and you're like, I don't even feel like painting. I'm too tired. I just want to lay down and, put the day behind me kind of thing, right? But unfortunately, sometimes that's what it takes, Sometimes you gotta just sit down, force yourself to sit down and, I'm gonna get this done today. I'm getting this done, It's getting done. Where are we? Lazy monkey. I hate when I have ideas for what I want to do with a mini and then sit down and the brush in hand and just go blank. I can't decide what color to use and what have you. Yeah, exactly. That's happened to me too. I get all excited about a model. Yeah, I'm going to do this. And then sit down with the model and they're like, oh wait, now was I going to go with this color? And then, because I actually started to sit down. I'm working on for the Silver Tower box set still. And I'm working on the next Chaos Familiar, which is the little guy who looks like a Zinch, change your ways. And the way that he's painted on the box art, he's black and he's really dark and it's kind of meh. And I was going to paint him something else, but then when I sat down to paint him, I actually was hit by another idea and I started running with that idea instead. Excuse me. And I'm far happier with that actually. So, again, really inspiration does find us when we're working is the one big thing. I think it's Pablo Picasso, I believe that was a quote attributed to him. Inspiration finds us when we're working. Bill, Quirk now owes you a gum. A gum? Yeah. Probably having what's Quirk's orc makeup? I don't know. Well, he's painting his orcs and he spilled the shade wash or whatever. So it's soaked up all over that cloth. I thought he was holding up a Rorschach test, but apparently it was just him making a mess. Him wasting paints. Damn wasteful kids. You, yeah, damn young whippersnappers. Yo, you whippersnappers. My day. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. All your problems are pretty compared to mine. I have well over 100 nids and Jisoo cultists to paint. Plus. Yeah, exactly. That's a lot. That's 100 nids plus the Jisoo cultists. Man, that's a lot. Hope you have an airbrush. Hope you have spray cans or something, because that's a lot of work. That's a lot of things to get through, man. But like I said, you just take them in chunks. Don't have all those models in front of you. Just sit down, grab a few of them, and just start, pounding away. Lazy Monkey. It doesn't help that my color sense was in part developed in the 80s. What does that mean? In the 80s? I don't know. Rupert Bear. Hello all. Hello, Rupert Bear. Rupert Bear. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Oops. Okay. Anyabu, but 80s color scheme is awesome. You might need more neon though. More neon. Yeah, more neon, more checkers with the lightning bolts running kind of half through them, and yeah, big annoying colors. Oh, and pastel colors, lots of pastel colors. Think like Miami Vice kind of thing. When Miami Vice was in its peak, and yeah, everybody was dressing like that. I remember that. God Almighty. Men alive, there are men alive. Oh, where are we? Scattered Dice. Greetings, Earthlings. Greetings, Scattered Dice. Eric Leonard. Hi, Kris. How long have you been painting? How long have I been painting? I have been painting since I was a wee man at about 13, 14, which is around 88, I believe. I don't know, it gets so long. But around 88 is when I started painting these miniatures. It's when I discovered miniatures, really. My cousins were into, I guess, Rogue Trader at the time now that I realized it was Rogue Trader. And they had like a little thing set up in their bedroom and they had the models and everything like that. And I said, ooh, wow, that looks cool, wow, you know. And then I was really in love with, I still am. I really love Aliens, the movie. And I saw Space Hulk. The back box art of Space Hulk. Well, the front artwork of the original Space Hulk. And it showed this, guy in a big Terminator suit, and the jeans are coming down the hallway at him, and he's like blazing away. And that was everything I loved. And I was like that's aliens, man. That's aliens. There's Marines, in the hallways and these tight corridors, and these creatures are coming after them and stuff like that. And so it really inspired me to get into, the game. And so and of course I bugged my mom. I bugged her and I bugged her and I bugged her until she said, okay, finally, got you the box set. And of course the models are all unpainted. Well then, I got to get myself some paint. And so, pretty much starts from there. What? Okay, great.
I spilled the wash, but that's what I got out of it.
Awesome. Very good. I'm in the middle of something, right?
I know, that's not like bugging you.
Anyway, people with kids don't get enough attention.
Love me.
Man. Where are we? At least you can learn how to make green leg warmers. Leg warmers. Now that's one leg warmers. I always thought they were kind of cool, and they always look really great on female legs. And I always thought, they should bring those back. Leg warmers. Anyway, but so Eric, to answer your question, I've been painting a while. Now, mind you though, it hasn't been a straight shot from that day to today. I mean, I was 13 and getting into it, and then, I hit around 14, 15, and then all of a sudden you start really noticing the girls, and then, of course, I was around 16, and, it wasn't until I started a family that I was like, I need something else to do while I'm taking care of my kids, and so, got back into the hobby, and been on it until I took another break around Warhammer 40K 4th edition, around 4th edition. I took another break for about it was almost a year, I think. I didn't touch a model. Didn't even touch a thing. Yeah, it was around there. 4th edition, I took another break. And so, but since 4th edition, though, I've been back into the hobby and, constantly going. And, of course, once I started working for Mini Wargaming, then, painting every day. Like, I used to paint, fairly often. It was twice, 3 times a week. But I'd sit down for, long sessions. Sometimes I'd sit until, 2 in the morning painting, And I can even remember when I was younger, painting till 6, 7 in the morning, when I started working for Mini Wargaming, it's the painting for 8 hours a day kind of thing, and of course the editing and stuff like that, and painting has now become my job, and it's no longer a hobby for me. And so again, for a lot of you guys out there, they think, I like to do this painting thing for just for my 9 to 5, just pay my bills and things like that. Be careful what you wish for, because again, you might get what you ask for. And so the hobby, I still paint recreationally, to relax. And of course, because sometimes in the quick tips, I don't get to really kind of delve into the paint and the model and enjoy, the moment. Oftentimes I'm just kind of rushing through the model, and oftentimes I like to just kind of sit and just paint the model and just follow the lines and just follow the creases, build up the shadows, build up the highlights, and watch the interplay between colors, and really getting down a nice smooth coat, and things like that. And just those are things that just kind of take time, and again, when I'm doing quick tips and stuff like that, I can't do that. It's just gotta bang, 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 just gotta hammer through it, and So but whereas it's real nice to just kind of sit down and just paint something, Anyway, Ghost of Starman Deluxe, currently waiting for the opportunity to go outside and spray everything with Chaos Black. Chaos Black. That's a name that's never going to go away. Even black, even regular black, we call it Chaos Black. Even like going to Krylon, go to Walmart Krylon, see their spray cans, Chaos Black. No. Mad Cow Crazy, come on, Chris, we need to talk about gene seal cults. How they infect Eldar. Picture of some GSC in what could be Komora in the Codex. Well, a gene seal cult in affecting an Eldar world. That'd be kind of tough. I mean, I can imagine somewhat gene seals infecting Exodites. I don't know if you could really get into Dark Eldar because the thing is like you got to remember, like, Eldar they're really biased against all other races other than other Eldars, right? So you have to and remember the Eldar feel things 10 times beyond what a human feels, right? And so if they feel repulsion towards something, they're going to feel it 10 times the repulsion towards something. And basically, the Eldar are basically the galaxy's ultimate racists, really is what they are. And I don't know, what kind of chances a gene seal cult would stand to build up, and in a Eldar society. I don't think they could, because I mean, also too, like, Eldar are all kind of connected, right? They're all connected through the Wraithbone. They're all connected by their spirit stones. Everything's connected, like, in a really kind of hippy dippy kind of way, right? And so if gene seal cults were to infiltrate into an Eldar society, wouldn't some sort of mirror of the shadow and the warp appear within their infinity circuit? Wouldn't that cult appear like a big black tumor in their infinity circuit? And so they'd investigate it right away. So I don't think a gene seal cult could really build up in a craft world, or even in Komora. I don't even think Komora, because there again, wicked, murderous, and I mean, I'm sure a gene seal cult in Komora probably has equal odds of surviving as any other cult, I guess, in Komora. Really is what it comes down to, right? Because I mean, like, they're all murdering each other anyway. So, but whereas Exodites, I could imagine Exodites, because I mean, you imagine the Exodites, they're living kind of, like little villages here and there, and so one little village gets taken over, a little family's taken over, and all of a sudden, and they're quiet, and all of a sudden they raise, and they go through a couple generations where they're staying quiet, and and then the next things. But I mean, Eldar are long-lived as well, right? So I mean, they don't go through fast generations, right? Whereas humans, by comparison, breed like rabbits, whereas Eldar, they don't. So I don't know, Mad Cow. I don't think a gene seal cult could gain a foothold for very long especially in a craft world. I don't think they could. But again, that's just my theory. Anyway. Oh no, Windows wants to do another update. Try Office. No, piss off. Neil Turner, afternoon. Chris and hi all. Eric Leonard, hooked. Thanks, man. yeah, I was pretty much hooked at that point, man. I was just Space Hulk, man. I mean, that was everything, because like aliens, man. Like, it was just freaking great, man. It was just guys around, freaking aliens jumping off the walls, spraying them, and of course, Space Hulk, same kind of thing, right? So yeah, and as a young man, I mean, nothing captures one's imagination better than these images to a young boy, or young mind, I should say, because girls are the same way. So yeah, a young mind, we'll say, to be more correct, I suppose. Yeah. Pronoun did say, Chris. It's called hobby relapse. Happened to me when I was looking to distract myself from exams. Yeah. Hobby relapse? Okay, hobby relapse. I'll go with that. Eric Leonard, has it dampened the enjoyment? I'd guess it would somewhat. No? Ishab, hopefully though you can make it through both hobby and job. I think it's always when things become the job we start to lose interest in things. Well, it's the monotony. I mean, myself, I pen myself an artist, and through my paintings, I don't paint the same thing over and over again. I paint one thing that comes from imagination, create it, and I'm done with it. You know what I mean? Like, there, go off into the world, do your thing. And I'm not really about painting the same thing over and over again. Similar subject matter, sure, but not the exact same picture, exact same composition. That's boring. And so when sitting down painting miniatures, to my mind, that's what it's like. It's sitting down painting the same kind of thing. Unfortunately, I have this nasty habit that I treat my painting like my other painting, like my proper oil painting. I often have that kind of mindset where it's I'm putting forth a lot of myself into it, and running with it. And so I guess some of you might kind of understand that one. Some of you might be going, I think Kris is going off the deep end, but yeah, you just have to trust me on that one. Mad Cow Crazy, what is Kris' email? I want to send him some pics. My email is chris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below. Just click the link. The description below. Just click the link, and away we go. But yeah, Thomas Rasmussen, Kris@kinkyeldar.com. At kinkyeldar, is that domain taken? Because if it isn't, I'm going to take it. kinkyeldar.com. Prawn Hamnets, I reckon an Eldar holding a pickaxe would be a bit of a giveaway. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Clumsy Juggler, there he is, Clumsy Juggler. Benjamin Haffon. Legion painting. Anyone watching Luke Cage? I just started last night watching it. So far, so good. I'm actually enjoying it. I actually like the whole vibe of it, really. So it's really kind of, I'm digging. And the character is pretty cool, too. Although he's pretty straight, you know what I mean? He's kind of, no, this is good, and no, I'm not going to do that, and, That kind of character kind of gets boring after a while, you characters who have a bit of a dark side to them. Like anybody who watched Jessica Jones, I mean, she has very, very, very dark side to her, and a much more interesting character to follow along with than, somebody who's always, I'm good, and, nothing's wrong. You're all wrong. Mad Cow Crazy, email sent. Should probably get it within 5 minutes. Looking at an email today, Kris. It's pics of GSC in Camorra. Okay. Speaking of emails, let's do an email. Because we can. Why not? This is from Rumen Matinov. Hey, Kris. Spelled my name wrong. Thought I'd share another conversion attempt. This time it's Cypher. The base is Dark Vengeance Librarian, plus 1 piercing saw, a couple of Raptor pistols, some Teflon tape, and green stuff. Not the best paint job, but that's what my current painting skills permit. And so he has... Oh, there was another email to this. Oh, yeah, sorry, you misspelled my name. And so let's have a look at his work. Cypher. Very cool. I'm digging it. And the painting's not bad. What are you talking about, painting? Painting's not bad at all. I'd like to see a little more contrast between the white on the symbol here in the chest and the rest of the robe. But those are little things. I mean, the edge highlight doesn't look bad. You got the little fingers and everything. You got the little corners. I'm not sure what you're talking about, bad paint job. Again, your paint job's not bad. It's just you just got to start building up to better, or not better, but higher contrast. Don't be afraid to push that crease in the leather just a little bit darker, and bring the robe up just a little bit brighter. It's just all about tweaking, getting those color tweaks. But I mean, everything on the model is painted. It looks good to me. And conversion looks pretty darn cool. What's he got on his back? Oh, very cool. Yes. Oh. And do you freehand that symbol? That's very cool. If you freehanded the symbol, that's very good. Very nice stuff. One more. One more. We'll zoom right in here. Yeah. Look at. Jeez Louise. He's got varying tones in the skin. You took your time there. Look at how neat the pages are in here. How neat the gold is around the cloth. Good grief, kid. Come on now. Painting's fine. Painting's good. Keep going. And so, awesome. Cipher, conversion, very good. Conversion looks good. And I think the paint job was awesome. Just, you're at the point where I think you just got to start building a little more contrast. Just getting a little bit deeper in the recesses and getting a little brighter on your highlights. I think is about it. But otherwise, good work. I think that's really awesome. Where are we in the comments? Ghost of Starman Deluxe at Kris. Kris at kinkyeldar.com. Can't be taken since it was YouTube. Wouldn't have allowed it, therefore it can be yours. Oh, I get you. Oh, okay, I get you because it's not an actual domain. YouTube didn't see it, and so it shows up as an actual thing. I got you. I should buy it just for giggles. Mini Warcraft at Kris. I never curse. LOI, I agree. Love the Harlem groove of Luke Cage show, but his character is a little Captain America for me. Yeah. It's like the Superman, Captain America. You know what I mean? They're just too good. There's just too much good. There's not enough conflict. You like to see a little bit of conflict in them. But I mean, that was just the first episode. I mean, his character could change dramatically by the end of it. Who knows, right? Who knows? But either way, it's shaping up to be a very interesting show. And I was just surprised at the, I guess, like, really kind of, the show's kind of would probably rate an R. And I was kind of surprised at that it's really, that graphic with the nudity and the blood and, don't get me wrong. Those are the qualities that make a great program. But I was just kind of surprised that, for a Marvel property that, it would go that dark or realistic or gritty, I guess, is whatever way you want to look at it. But yeah. Kanusha. How long has the Stormbird been on Forge World? I think it just came out like this week. They've been previewing it since like the last Warhammer or Forge World Day or Forge World Open Day or whatever the heck it's called. Warhammer or Forge World? I don't know. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they previewed it since then, but it just came out to buy, I think, this week. I just got the email for it this week. And so, yeah. I thought it would be a little bit bigger. When they showed the top-down view of it and compared to a Thunderhawk, like the Thunderhawk is not that much shorter than it. I mean, the Stormbird is broader, of course, but I don't know. I thought it would be bigger. Like its footprint would be substantially bigger than a Thunderhawk. Just the way to describe it, right? I mean, like how how much crap it's carrying and stuff like that. But yeah. Hayton Tran. Awesome, made it for the first live show. Well, welcome. Hoyton? Again, name butcher. Sorry. Dr. Santos' Stormbird came out like 2 days ago. Yeah. Dahajda. Anyway. Yesterday, I spent all my painting time on a single Space Marine when I 29 more to go. Oof. How do you keep up a steady flow of production and not get bogged down in perfecting every single detail? Learn to let go. Learn to let go. Excuse me. Meaning, if you're painting like a little bit of silver and you end up nicking that one little point of blue on the armor, let it go. Just let it go. If you got like 30 more of these guys to go, just let that one little nick go. Put them down. Grab the next guy. Go again. Because eventually you will just master that. You won't make that mistake, and so you just keep going. Because again, when you're going through that many models, right? It's like muscle memory, and it's repetition. It's repetition, and you're just kind of going through it, and it just You just keep powering through it. Because, yeah, I mean, like, you don't have to get artsy on it or anything like that. You don't have to get fancy. You're just laying the color down onto the surface. And, yeah, just if you hit that one little point, it's like, oh well, screw it. And, you just let it go. And, keep going. That's the way I get sometimes. Although, of course, then you might get a little bit sloppy. Because then you might be banging it. Screw it. Bang. And, big brush stroke right down it. And it's like, so be careful. Yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword that, you could end up just, making a complete mess of things. But, you take it in stride, I guess. Mad Cow Crazy GSC release for good, is good for us sister battle players, as we now have a primary foe. Grey Knights have Demon, Deathwatch has numerous Xenos, Sisters deal with Witchcraft, Heresy, and Mutation, all of which the GC other cults take care of. Are. Yes, they are. Legion Painting. Netflix shows are sick. Just shame that the Civil War was in a swear jar. Was dog shit in a swear jar. Okay. Kanusha? Yeah, I'm gonna say Kanusha. Screw it, Kanusha. Have to pick up 2 of them for my Raven Guard. Very cool. Ruben Matnoff. Oh, I just read your email. Thanks, Prawn. That's what's got me thinking about it in the first place. Official model is what? Is? Thomas Rasmussen, the name butcher strikes again. Yes, he does, and he always will be, because I never learned to read. Bad Cut Crazy. Ordo Malus has Grey Knights. Ordo Xenos has Deathwatch, and Ordo Heretics has the Adeptus Sorta. And the Adeptus Sorta is the only of the above without plastic models, so maybe GW will finally give us our crack. I think so. If they're going to keep their lore as they have been. And really, I mean, like, we've waited a long time for Deathwatch. We've waited a long time. Grey Knights have been around since first edition. Sisters Battle been around since second edition. But we've never had Deathwatch. I mean, in any sizable way. Other than maybe a unit as an ally. But never to be able to take like a full, complete force of them. And, I think it's a good thing. Just a battle, though, yeah, I think we'll see those in plastic. I think we will. Because they're the mainstay of the Holy Church of Earth kind of thing, and so they're a huge part of the background, and so many people love them, and I don't think they would scrap them or anything like that. At least I don't think so. Hutan Tran, very close. It's pronounced like Weetan. So Weetan? Oh, okay, like Weetan. Weetan Tran. Gotcha. Weetan. Pronounced like Weetan. Okay, well, I'm gonna say Weetan. I'm not gonna remember by next week, but today it's Weetan. Here's another name. Inyabu. Anyway, I'm going to Finland again early next year. Adventures will be had. Never been there. Would love to go. It seems like a really kick-ass kind of place. They grunt to work. Learn to let go. Still have to learn that one. Yeah, let go. Let go of your anger. Bad Cat Crazy. I live in Finland. Where are you going? Remember, there is snow here all year long, and you need to know how to use a rifle, as polar bears can be quite dangerous. Really, there's snow all year round? I didn't think so. I thought there was, like in the southern parts, you had the seasons. Like, you had 4 seasons. You had a summer, winter, spring, and fall. I didn't think it was, like, snow all year. Or is it just friggin' cold all year? Prawn Hamdens. It often makes it easier just to go for it and leave mistakes and clean up later. When doing a batch, at least progress looks to be occurring. Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, you get through, and I mean, like when you really, what the important thing is okay, you're painting for an army, right? So it's not being painted to the scrutiny of competition type standards, unless of course you're doing like armies on parade or something like that. Then yeah, you're gonna have to go back and clean that up. But if you're just doing your army and you're just getting it ready for tournaments or regular kind of gameplay, you don't have to worry about it. It's just because I mean, like most people are not going to be picking up every single one of your guys and inspecting and seeing that you got every nook and cranny properly. Nobody's going to do that. So that's why you can just let those one tiny little mistakes, just let it go. Oh well, screw it, move on to the next one. Just don't do it again. You know what I mean? Like, at least that's the way I've always kind of gone about it whenever I've tried to power through a bunch of models and just, screw it. I'm not going back. Coffee time. Here's our regular coffee time. Saying that to like Spider-Man too. Coffee time. Everyone loves a coffee time. Prawn Ham, it makes sense that they would go for keywords in the next edition of 40k. The Death Watch Sisters, Custodes, Inquisition will form a faction. You think they're going to put them all into like one big book? Just all under Inquisition? They could, because I mean, like really, the formula is pretty similar through all because it's Inquisition, right? Who orchestrates these armies. And so you have the Inquisition, then you have all his henchmen, right? And apparently they're going to have the Custodes in there. Why? Well, no, the Custodes I thought for 30k, though. I thought the Custodes were for 30k. I don't think they're for 40k. But anyway, if you had the big book of the Inquisition, that way you can have all your Grey Knights under Inquisition. You can have all your Death Watch under Inquisition. You can have your Sister Battle all under Inquisition. And then have all your Imperial Guard auxiliaries, and you know what I mean? Like you have all that stuff, and you just basically, what kind of flavor of Inquisition do you like? I think they should just do one big of the book of the Inquisition. Do it as a special edition, leather bound, so it's like this big tome, and charge $500 for it, and they will, because I said it. It'll probably happen, and it'll be $500. Watch. Mad Cow Crazy. We know we're getting Custodes as we've seen the White Dwarf models. There is a rumor also that the Sister of Silence with that release, rumored burning a Prospero box. Cool. I've not heard that one. But yeah, the Custodes though, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're 30k. I'm pretty sure they're for 30k. I mean, like, bringing them into 40k, I don't know, And I mean, like, and you guys know how I'm all about the fluff of this stuff. I mean, like, really, Custodes, in 40k, come on. Why would the personal bodyguard of the Emperor leave Earth to go do a mission? Why? Why would you diminish the Force like that? Why? And especially if the Adeptus Custodes are these kick-ass kind of guys who are like better than Space Marines. Why would you want their DNA out there in the universe for somebody else to gather and utilize, like Tyranids or Gene Stealers or Tau, or what I mean? Like you just don't want these kind of secrets out there. I mean, like, this is the Emperor's personal bodyguard. I mean, they don't go out there; they just stand around and don't mess with us, kind of thing, right? So, no, I think it's dumb. Now in 30k, yes, because the Emperor's out and about, walking around, and he needs his bodyguards, But in 40k, he's confined to a chair, and he does all his communicating through the speak and say, does like a Stephen Hawking's voice. And my man, where am I now? Holy man, here's another name. I'm just gonna say Sandbag. Screw it. Custodes are for both. They guard the Emperor's throne. Yeah, no, I see. Custodes, I can only see being for 30k. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what people are telling me. The Custodes are for 30k. Ghost of Starman Deluxe, Prawn. I'm the only one who heard to turn my burger, slam the door instead. Turn my back and slam the door. Oh, turn my burger and slam. Turn my burger slam. Whoa. Mad Cow Crazy. I thought Custodes were 30k only. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Prawn Hammond's Legio Custodes for 30k, Adeptus Custodes for 40k. Yeah. See, again, it's those kind of things that, like, they're very cool models, but I mean, like, like, why make an army out of them? They're just going to be something dumb, like the way, Grey Knights were first introduced, right? Completely overpowered and kind of just, and everybody's playing them. Like, really, like, every conflict on in a jungle world, ice world, lava world, whatever, is custodes fighting. Like, they're just everywhere fighting. Like, come on. It doesn't go like that. The Hajda. Thoughts on color primers? Are they worth it? Also, excuse my unpronounceable username. It's not unpronounceable. It's just I can't pronounce it. It's something stupid I came up with in 5th grade. Okay. The Hajda. No, it's easy enough to say. It's just getting, the Hajda. Yeah. The Hajda. The Hajda. I mean, that's how I see it anyway. You might pronounce it, completely different. I don't know. Either way. Thoughts on color primers? Are they worth it? Yes, I do think they are worth it. But you run the risk of over priming. As I've mentioned in previous videos, when you over prime a model, you obscure details. And also you can create a really thick surface on the model, which is not good for paint to sit on, and also not good for transfers to sit on. So there are those dangers. But that being said, it's a great way to get, lots of vehicles done. It's a great way to, for models similar to like Space Marines and stuff like that. It's a great way to get them done because, I mean, if you got like a large number of them to do, just spray them down, getting just large amounts of models done is they're a really great way. I know GW sells the color primers. I don't know if they still, I'm pretty sure they still sell the color primers. And of course, Army Painter. We've used Army Painter a lot in the past and they worked out just great. So, I've used, what the heck did I use Army Painter last for? I think it was some of my jet bikes. I think I was doing it for my tanks. I was doing it for my tanks to get my tanks done because I'd leave the top halves and the bottom halves separate, and I'd just do the top halves. And so I had a whole bunch of top halves, and I just because the crimson dragon or dragon red. No, dragon red was a lighter red. Crimson something else. Anyway, it was a crimson color, but it was a good match for Mephiston red. It was like the Mephiston red and this color sat right on top of each other and were perfect. Yeah. Mad Cat Crazy. Why would the Adeptus Custode leave the throne room? Well, the Golden Throne is falling, and they're talking with the Elder about repairing it. So who would you entrust with the mission to get the parts? True enough, but still, I mean, come on. Ishyab, Kris, please do more Stephen Hawking's voice. That was awesome. Matter of fact, review an email using that voice. Do an email. Michael Crazy, check if you see the pics I sent you. Check and see. Shall I see? Oh, dare I see? I see Mad Cow Crazy Gene Seer Cult in Camorra. I do see it. I've started. And so, speaking of emails, let's do an email. Mad Cow Crazy, I think the red primer was a limited edition thing. From GW or from Army Painter? I don't think from Army Painter. From GW, though? It was a limited edition thing? Really? How do you limited edition a color? How the hell does that happen? That doesn't even make any sense. There's no more red in the world. We've got red paint here, but apparently we can't produce red paint anymore. Because of the war. Because of the war, we can't have red paint anymore. That doesn't make any friggin' sense. I don't know. A lot of times, like Games Workshop, they do this stuff for exclusivity. Making things exclusive, so it can drive the price up. They can keep those premiums up like that. So, but still, red paint, exclusive, or limited edition. Give me a break. And this is from my buddy Tyler over at Slapdash Minis. Hey bud, long time no see. I thought I'd throw you a quick email to show some of the stuff I've been playing with. I'm not doing any commissions anymore, which means I've got to paint some. I've got to paint something for me. Yay! Some of us are looking at playing some D&D, so I've been trying to crank out some minis and characters, and monsters. Here's what I have so far. It's been fun to paint single models, and there's nothing too special, but they are done, and that is special. Later's bud, Tyler. And of course, Tyler's, well, according to this, he's not doing commission painting anymore, but he was a commission painter. So, anywho, here's his efforts. It's very cool. I like the book. I like the color. I like the soft tones. I like the dirt. That's how it looked out here. Are you glazing? Or are you blending? Are you blending? Are you playing around blending? I think you might be playing around blending. Do his eyeballs and his teeth. Or is that just he's got a big wicked bottom lip? Either way, very cool. Ha! Little fairy. Are those wings clear? Those wings are clear. Where'd you make the wings from? Did you make the wings? Or did the model come with it? Tell me. Tell me. I like this model. Again, paint the eyes. And yeah, those wings are clear. Look at that. Oh, okay. I think I know what he did. I know what he did. He took clear blister pack, used like a Tamiya clear color, and did like the little veiny things and everything like that, and just kind of built the color up near towards the ends. And he let the color build up really heavy, let the paint build up pretty heavily on the end, and then glued them into place. That's what he did. But it's something clear like the blister packs or something like that. Yeah, and then he used Tamiya clear. Or something like Tamiya clear. I always say Tamiya clear because, I mean, like, really, what is like Tamiya clear? I have no idea, because Tamiya clear is really good. If you have never used Tamiya clears before for like doing like clear plastics and stuff like that, I definitely would recommend you guys get your hands on them, especially like red, blue, green, yellow, and also keep a bit of isopropyl alcohol nearby just so you can thin the paint out a bit, because these are typically a solvent-based paint, and I definitely would recommend that you use synthetic brushes when applying these paints, because you just don't want this crap damaging your good sable hair brushes. Oh, look at the dwarf. Yeah, dwarf. I like the base. It almost looks like a skeleton. A skeleton. Lots of texture in the grass there and little different things. I like that. That's very cool. And of course the dwarf's very good too. Yeah, very cool. That's not it, is it? Is that it? Dwarf was less? Oh, it was only 4 pictures? It was only 4 pictures. Oh. Thought he had more. Thought he had more to show us. So anywho, that was Tyler. Thanks, Tyler. Send that in, buddy. And of course, have to come visit sometime soon. Or wait, no, whose turn is it? I think it's my turn to come visit, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Anyway. Where am I? I don't know where I am. Prawn Hamnets. Limited runs of paint are so annoying. I'm still not over Devlin Mud. Well, Devlin Mud essentially is Egg-Rex Earthshade. They're essentially the same thing. Devlin Mud, though, did seem to be a bit darker, but Egg-Rex Earthshade, it's the same. It's the same damn thing, man. The same thing. Dorn Jr. Kris just looked and saw that the steady hand grips were out of stock. What's the ETA for when I should check back and order some? Probably not for another week and some, because I have to create more, as I'm currently sitting on 0, and I have not made any more yet. Again, because, like I said, each one is handmade by me. Not handmade, but, poured. I personally work on each one of them. And, so, and again, for everybody, if anybody who is watching right now has picked up the steady hand grip, I want to thank you guys. You guys really surprised me And you guys really surprised Matt, because Matt didn't think these things were going to sell. He was just kind of, yeah, go ahead, whatever, Yeah, we'll see what happens, right? And he was surprised that the first batch went out so quickly, like first day. Second batch went out, and they went out in one day. And then the third batch was a bigger batch, and in 24 hours they were all gone. And so again, a big thank you for everybody who has been purchasing them, and of course, I would like everybody who has purchased them, if they could, possibly write a review. There's a section on the buy page on Mini Wargaming Store where you can like put down a review. You can put like stars, whatever, and put down whatever you want. I mean, like if you feel like it has helped you, you do feel that the product does kind of live up to its name, whatever, right? So it's a review. You just you write your opinion down. I mean, so there's Lee. Aloha. But yeah, so I wanted to say a big thank you for everybody again, for everybody who has purchased them and made them sell out as fast as they have. Where are we? Yeah,
they're awesome.
Yeah, I was surprised how fast they sell. Dornger, oh, good, worth the wait for the Master Craftsman. Thank you. Mad Cow Crazy, never use GW paints anymore, as all GW paints should be considered limited edition. During my time collecting them, they've changed paint lines 3 times. Yes, and you know what? You're absolutely right, Mad Cow. I think one should consider GW paints as limited edition, because again, there's rumors flying around that the paint line is going to change again, and they just changed that paint line like 2-3 years ago. I mean, really, do we need to keep changing the paint line up like this? But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We should just call them limited edition. They should just start calling them limited edition. And because, I mean, like Vallejo's paint line, that hasn't changed in a decade. And I mean, like, I was been getting into scale 75, and they're really great colors. Reaper, what was the last time they made changes to their paint line? I don't think ever. I think they just, here's a color, mix color, here's a color, you know what I mean? Here's a color, and you got a bazillion colors, right? Yeah, so I mean, like, it's really, I don't think it's necessary for them to change the paint line. Again, it just creates more confusion. I mean, like the paints themselves, the names should have the color involved. Give you some idea for the color, right? Warpstone Glow. If you are not familiar with the Warhammer lore, you have no idea what Warpstone Glow is supposed to be. If I told you, give me Warpstone Glow, what color, or paint me a picture in Warpstone Glow, it's like, what color is Warpstone Glow? I don't have no color, and it's green, right? But it makes no sense. The color's name is not in the name. So how can that be a name of a color if the color name is not in the name? Cool. I think I just popped a brake vessel. Prawn Ham Days. No, it's not the same. Devlin Mud has more greens and other magical properties. Stop. Ishab. Yeah, I was surprised to see how the steady hand grip came in a little red velvet bag. That alone have the cost of $10. That's okay. Thanks, Kris. Awesome. Fear School, waiting for my hand grip to come in. Cool. Yes. Awesome. Again, I'm totally shocked. I mean, I knew a few guys out there wanted them, and you guys had asked about them for years and years and years, and I mean, like I know that there's cheaper, cheaper things out there to use, but I mean, it was, I mean, like I made that, I mean, because like I have big old mitts, and I know there's a lot of people out there, who have big old hands on them, and holding onto a base like this is not comfortable, and that's why I made them so more puck-like, right? Like a puck, because your hand's more comfortable in this kind of position than in this kind of position, and that's the big difference. Mini Warcrafts, what is the hand grip? The hand grip, if you go to Mini Wargaming Store, and you go into buy Kris, you'll see the steady hand grip. If you ever watched any of the painting tutorials, the quick tips or anything like that, you see the little handle that I attach the models to. That's what is for sale. I've personally made those and I sell them on Mini Wargaming Store. Graham Collin, woohoo, late to the party. GW are a pain in the arse and keep changing out their paints. Yes, I know, exactly. Thomas Huntley, I was amazed by the delivery. Got to me in the UK in 3 days. Also, I like the grip. Oh, crap. The comment moved. Would it be possible to make a bigger size for my ham hands? Yeah, it would be possible to make a bigger size. Believe it or not, I am working on a third version. Something a little bit more stylish. Rather, I mean, it'll still have the same function. It'll still be the same size, same dimensions, and everything like that. But it'll be a little bit more stylish. I also would like to have something with my logo involved in it somewhere also as well, but we'll have to see. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. We did discuss a weird Way the Brush themed paint line, didn't we? A Way the Brush paint line. Yeah, I have to fish around for a paint company because I know like Bob Ross has his own paint line, and I can't remember what company produces his paints, but yeah, get somebody like Vallejo or somebody to make a paint line. The Way the Brush paint line. That'd be actually pretty cool. That probably won't happen until I'm dead. I'm old and dead or something. Graham Collin, they do it so you have to keep either repainting your toy soldiers in new paints or buy new toy soldiers. Just wait for them to release their range of paint strippers. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And to be completely honest here, see how GW just put out the new mats, the new battle mats, which are pretty much the same thing, I guess. Apparently, they're the same thing that everybody else is producing. You know, like Frontline Games, and there's the EU company. I can't remember the name. They send us the mats too. I know those guys are probably gonna get mad at me, but anyway, GW is producing the mats now. So I mean, like, you know, there's no limit as far as how far they'll go to, you know, imitate, you know, other people's products, especially if it's something successful. Because I mean, those mats, they're successful. They're hugely successful. And so yeah, GW wants to get a piece of theirs. You never know. They might start putting out a steady hand grip. They can't use it. They can't use the term steady hand grip because that's mine. And so yeah, you never know. Wouldn't that be friggin' hilarious? Ishab, I'm also waiting for the new line of Kris's awesome mini paint brush set. That would be bristle materials made of my hair. Every paintbrush is made with my hair, so you just. I don't know if anybody would paint. I don't know if anybody would paint with human hair brushes. I don't. Plus, too, I mean, it's a little thick and, you know, it's not very fine. That's why we use the mink fur, right? Because it's very, very fine fur. Oh, here's a good one. Knitfink at Prawn Ham Dance. Army Painter Strong Tone Ink matches Devlin Mud. Okay. Well, there you go. And I'm going to have to trust Knitfink's opinion on that because I would assume they'd know. But yeah, I mean, the Strong Tone, it is quite dark. But the thing is, though, is with the big cans of the Army Painter stuff, that's a urethane. Versus the bottle stuff. The bottle stuff I don't think is urethane. I think that's acrylic. So you might get two differences of results in there. Which something to just be mindful of. Graham Collin, my Crimson Fists have been more shades of blue than they can sell a range of dodgy and SMM chick novels. Emperor's Champion, hey Kris, bit late. Have I missed much? You've missed quite a bit, actually. You missed quite a bit. G Squared, they'll sue you. No way. I'll sue them because I'm going to get mine out first. As I know exactly if they were to, Now, this is, way off. I mean, this is probably way off the radar. But if they were, I already know what they would do and what it would look like. And that's what my version 3 is going to be. That's why I say when it's stylish, it's just stylish, right? So I think you guys, if you can imagine GW, what they do, how they do things, like their aesthetics, then you can imagine already what I've already got planned. I mean, like I could show you guys right now, but I don't want to. It's a secret. But yeah, where are we? Ishia, aren't the model holders made of human bone? Oh man, could you imagine if I did them in bone? Oh, you know what? That'd be actually kind of cool. If I did them in like antler or moose antler or something like that. Ooh, got me thinking now. Drewski McCall, 1 month till the burrito time, Chris. I hope you're as excited as I am. I am excited, Drewski. Burrito time. You know what? I have not had that burrito. I know you told me about the place, and I mean, like, I'm not in St. Catharines very often, but yeah, burrito time. It's gonna be burrito time. Wait a second. It's gonna be. That's right. It's gonna be you, Dave, and Hugh, right? That are gonna be here at the same time. That's what it is. It's a gathering. GS squared or G squared. I was being sarcastic. Oh, I know you're being sarcastic, but I'm being serious. Because can I guess skulls? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Cricker Sound, big skull mini holder. There you go. Oh, not a big not a big skull. But skull. Zzz. Anyway. Where are we? Graham Collins, they just buy the mask from the same supplier as everybody else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the thing is though, is like the big advantage for GW, especially putting those mats out, is that they're the ones who are sitting on, like the ability to make really good 40K mats. Now, like the fantasy mats and stuff like that. I guess with the Age of Sigmar stuff, I mean, I guess they basically, I mean, they can probably just reproduce their Realm of Battle. And, like the little, tar pits with skulls in them and cracks and, things like that and make it look kind of crazy and, Holder Gray Skull. Yeah, that's a good one, Brent Hammonds. I'm not going to call it that, but that's a good one. I like that. I have the power. But yeah, so like, but for the 40K ones, for the 40K mats, I mean, I can see some really kick-ass looking designs. I can imagine like some really cool looking things that they can make. That'd be pretty awesome. Drewski, me, Mike G, Cody Rue, Hugh, James Weston, 40K Amateur Hour, and our friendly not so neighborhood Ben coming in all the way from the UK. Good grief. It's a convergence. Kirk Rashon, fill in all the milled edges with skulls, then I can picture it. Yeah, pretty much. It's, well, I mean, no. Maybe I'll send you. You've sent me an email before, right, Kurt? I'll send you an email. Maybe I'll show you. I'll give you a little sneak peek of what I'm talking about. Or maybe I'll put up on Facebook, Way the Brush. I don't know. One of the two. But, yeah, let's do another email. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Chris can use his friendly neighborhood bone singer to make it a fancy shape. Imagine if bone singing was real. That'd be freaking cool, man. Just cool. This is from Steven. Hi, Chris and monkeys. Just to do justice to the show, greets Steven. And so he watches he's watching Way the Brush on his big TV. Family man. You can see the little kid sits up front watching her shows, probably. His or her shows. Is this like an old arcade system? Is that like a Neo Geo? Is that a Neo Geo? Are you kidding me? Do you have a Neo Geo? Anyway. And he's watching Way the Brush. Oi. There we go. Oh, screw it. I'm done. There we go. There he is. Not sure why anybody would want to watch me on a large picture like that, as you're just basically going to be seeing all the blemishes and the crags and the deep lines, the exploded blood vessels. But anyway, that's very cool. I like that. That made me laugh. That made me lulls. Let's do another one really quick. What time are we at? Holy crap! We're already at 120. We're already at 122. Have I been jimmer jammering all the time? This is from Sean. Hello, Kris. Mini wargaming inspires me to begin painting. Mini wargaming inspired me to begin painting a couple years ago, and I have been attempting to make my way up the difficulty ladder on models towards the army I wish to paint. I've been able to paint simple models such as Necrons easily enough, but as I continue through Space Marines, I'm not overly happy with my work. My end goal has been to create a Warhammer Fantasy Battles Snow Wood Elves army, but I am afraid that I'm not quite happy with the simple Assault Marines that my Sisters of the Thorn and I will equally be disappointed in. How would you recommend conjuring up the mojo to be able to paint these ladies? What would be the best way to prepare myself to paint something I consider to be rather advanced? Is there a good way to practice without buying lots of expensive extra models? Sincerely, Sean. Sincerely, I guess that's like Russian or something. Anyway, Sean. So painting up these Sisters of the Thorn, they are snow wood elves. I think you might be overthinking it. I think with the wood elves, really what the trick is, okay, when you're priming your models, prime in a light gray or a white, preferably a white, so that your skin tones will stay nice and bright, because wood elves tend to be very light skinned. At least they're always depicted being very light skinned anyway. Well, elves in general, I guess. Yeah, it is kind of tough one. Now, snow wood elves, that's not an actual thing. I mean, you're talking about like making snowy, like they're covered in snow, wood elves. In which case, you might want to get yourself either some baking soda, so you can do nice snowy bases, and possibly have like a little bit of snow like gathered on the shoulders. Or if you want to go a little bit finer, go with a white pigment powder and apply white pigment into like the nooks and crannies, because it gives them that little kind of snowy kind of look. But as far as painting the models, no, it's all about just keeping those like the skin tones, keeping them very light. Don't go very heavy on the shade washes on them. We're talking, say, something like a base tone of, say, Kislev flesh built up to Paladin, or not Paladin, Pallid Witch flesh as your very final light highlights. Or you can even leave it as Kislev flesh and not even shade it. I mean, if you're just starting to get into this hobby, don't worry about all the highlighting and stuff like that. Just worry about laying out smooth, even coats, doing the base coating in a nice, smooth, even fashion. Because even like a smooth paint job looks really, really good on the tabletop. And as opposed to trying to do all these highlighting stuff that you might not be comfortable with, or that experience that. And so again, when you are mastering, when you're first getting into this hobby and you're mastering, laying the base color down and getting it nice and smooth, you're thinning it with water or medium, and you're leaving no brush strokes behind you, and you're staying nice and clean, and all the little points are colored in and things like that. Once you get to that point and you're laying down nice smooth base coats, then you're ready to pretty much start layering, highlighting, and glazing and things like that. Once you start getting used to using, thinned out colors, and that may be where you really might want to start beginning, is start practicing laying in just thinner colors on your models. Don't worry about the shade wash. Don't worry about the highlighting. Just lay nice, smooth, even base colors. Even the wood elves would look really, really cool. Now, for doing the snowy, there is a GW product for doing snow bases. Another good one is using baking soda and applying it to the surface of the base, and that gives you a really cool, snowy texture. And of course, for the models themselves, using white pigment powder, it gives you that impression like the snow is kind of falling into crevices and things like that. But otherwise, you can pretty much just leave them as is, or you even use the baking soda and put it like on the shoulder very lightly and things like that. But otherwise, you don't have to, you don't have to make it a bigger job than it really is. Just lay the base colors down, and you'll be surprised how fast you get through an army just doing the base colors. And then once you're happy with all the base colors, maybe I'll give this shade wash a try, and then apply a shade wash. Shade washes you don't apply very heavily. Heck, you can even thin them down with a bit of medium, and they go on even lighter and more controlled. And so again, it's really about that. I don't think there's anything rather advanced. I think you might be just kind of psyching yourself out, and don't do that. So yeah, I think it's just laying the base colors down, and then so hopefully, Sean, that helps. Again, it might be a case of psyching yourself out. Just do the base colors, especially if you're relatively new, to painting. Yeah, master, because as I've told people many times, there are 3 things in the very beginning that you should master before moving on to more, not advanced but trickier things. The assembly of your models, the priming of your models, and the base coating of your models. Cleaning your models, the assembly, cleaning your models, knowing how to clean all the flash and stuff like that off your models, filling in gaps and things like that, mastering that. Priming, not over priming your model, learning how not to over prime your model, knowing that when you prime your model, that it's just a surface for the paint to grab a hold of, right? That's all that primer is. But a lot of people still overdo it, and so again, it's mastering that, right? And then of course the base coating, mastering the base coating. Just, laying those initial colors down, working with the paint a little bit thinner than you're used to, and applying multiple layers, build up a nice solid base with no brush strokes. And of course, I've told you many times how to do that, right? Where with one thin layer, if your brush strokes were going this way on the model, then your next layer is going this way on the model, then this way, then this way, and that's the way you build up a nice solid color with no brush strokes. If you're working with thin colors, if you're working with thick colors, you're just going to build up lots and lots of heavy layers, and you're just going to be, obscuring details anyway, right? So hopefully, Sean, that helps. If not, feel free to send me another email. Just kind of, clarify exactly what might be, freaking out. In Yabu, Kris, how do you mistake a Sega Master System for a Neo Geo? Honestly, that was a Sega system? I didn't grow up with Sega. I grew up with Nintendo. So there. And if you didn't see, I stuck out my tongue. That's what I was doing. I was always quiet. I stuck out my tongue. So Nintendo. It was Atari 60. It was Atari 2600. Yeah, Atari 2600. And then Nintendo. I didn't go Coleco, even though Coleco had better graphics, but Atari still beat it out. So. Remember, it's not always what is the better technology. It's always about what's more popular, right? Because like Beta and VHS won, but Beta was the better technology. So, anyway, for anybody who remembers those days, some kids are in here going, "What the hell is he talking about VHS and Beta? Well, those aren't even things anymore." VHS. Who has VHS? Nobody's got VHS. Anyway. Prawn Hernandez, Nurgle's Rim. Oh yeah, we gotta name the show. I forgot we gotta name the show. Ghost Starman Deluxe, Nurglebum Green. Actually, no context was given in terms of shade, etc. Emperor's Champion. They don't whinge about the Sisters of Battle as much as that is a positive side of a release, I suppose. That must have been in response to something I wasn't following. And Yabu, 50 Shades of Nurglebum. How many shades of greeny brown and greeny blue could you go? Don't know. 50 of them, anyway, apparently. Emperor Champion, good models, I think, more because Gene Stealers are never my favorite aspect of Tyranid painting otherwise. Painting-wise. Gene Stealers are the archetypical Tyranid for me, as I saw them in the first Space Hulk first PC game. Yeah. Well, Gene Stealers and Tyranids were in the first edition of 40k, but there was no connection between the two. The only monsters that Tyranids had a connection to were Zotes, and they were these big four-legged brutes. And the Tyranids actually looked more like Gaunts, like a Termagant. And so, you had the early vision of Tyranids, right? And it wasn't until second edition that the Tyranids were flushed out into like this all-invading kind of army, and that the Gene Stealers were actually the vanguard of that army. That they were the scouts along with the lictors, right? But they were the forward eyes and ears of the army, So yeah. But what I did like was that when they re-released the Gene Stealers in the box. With other other limbs and stuff like that they gave the Gene Stealers the tentacles back. I thought that was really cool because in first edition, the Gene Stealer is more like a big sucker head with tentacles. He actually has like no eyes or anything like that. He's got a big just like a lamprey eel, just like all these tentacles and stuff like that, and a big like devourer mouth, and it just But it still worked the same. They still impregnate, and and then Gene Stealer come popping out. It's aliens, right? And the alien pops out, and Anyway, Homabado. Hello, monkeys. Finally back again. Tolo. Episode 132. Mastering 3 ways of Nurgle-bumming. Emperor Champion. I like me Gaunts and anything big with a carapace, brood lords, and patriarch, and the patriarch are an exception. Okay. Man got crazy. Back from walking the dogs. Did I miss the GSC in Kimura picks? No, he did not. I had not gotten there, and in fact, I may get there. Who knows? What time we at? 1:30. We may get there. We still may get there. Dr. Santos, it was the same with the Blu-ray and HD DVD. Yep, Blu-ray and HD DVD. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. There's all these tech wars, right? Tech wars? Graham Cullen. Betamax with Sony. It's not often that Sony loses technology battle. Sure. But, I mean, it's, VHS, man. VHS won. As history writes. Although, in an alternate universe, Betamax won. Mark Hill, episode 132, Getting to Grips and Heresy. I like it. That sounds like a news headline, actually. Getting to Grips and Heresy. I like it. I'm using it. Nothing you can do now, Mark. I'm using it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing you can do. As he laughed and cackled into the distance. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. Anyway. Oi. Jeez Louise. Hitting all sorts of stuff here. Graham Collin, and don't forget the Philips V2000 system video cassettes. You can turn over the tape on the other side like audio cassettes. Could you? I didn't. That was before my time then. Because I remember it going from what was it? Well, laser discs. I remember laser discs. Like they were like LPs. Like they're big laser discs. They were like that big. I remember those. What the heck was before VHS though? And beta. There wasn't anything in home entertainment, was there? Other than the laser discs. No, I don't think there was anything. No, because we're talking like the early '80s here. Yeah. Anyway. Oh man, getting old. Homabado. Mark Hill, you deserve a cookie. You deserve a cookie. Let's do an email. Do an email. This is from Sean Higgins. Hey, Chris. Thanks for reading my email and answering my questions on the last sit and talk. I asked about priming in 2 colors or zenith highlighting with spray cans. The answer you gave sparked my imagination, and I really want to work on a Aikido 2 can technique. An Aikido technique? Haha, that sounds like the style of Kung Fu. Here, see how you like my 2-can style. Hiya. 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 I would like to make a Space Wolves army that have gone renegade, maybe called the Dark Wolves or something like that. I imagine them dancing in the moonlight. Maybe not dancing. Nah, screw it. They're getting their boogie on. Boogie on? And what is a good way to desaturate colors, and what color would you use to spray paint the moonlight? I can't decide between white, light blue, and pale yellow. Or would you go with something completely different? Cheers, Chris. P.S. You should open up a painting school on the top of a mountain with a path that has thousands of steps and get all the monkeys to stand in the rain before you train them and make them fight to the death. Jeez, that's grim. Yeah, so, okay. As far as desaturating the colors, typically it's always a gray, okay? To desaturate the color, you'll want to find a gray that is the similar value to the color you're painting. So, for example, if you're using a light gray, a light color, you want to use a light gray. A mid-tone, a mid-gray. A dark tone, a dark gray. Okay? So, for example, if you say Warpstone Glow, which is a mid-tone green, you'd use something like a mid-tone gray, which is close to something like Dawnstone, if you were sticking within the GW line. Dawnstone is about a mid-tone gray. And you just throw a little bit of the Dawnstone into that color, and you'll find that the vibrancy of the green will go away. And the more gray you add, the more you kill that green. So if you had something, say, like Moot Green, which is a really light green, and you took something like Administratum Gray and threw that in, or even Uthran Gray and threw that in, you desaturate the color, right? Caliban Green, if you threw in, say, Eshin Gray, you'll desaturate the color. You'll bring it down. You'll bring it downwards without changing the tinting, right? Without changing it being a very bright color to a very dark color, because you couldn't take, say, Dawnstone and add it to Moot Green, because what you'll do is you'll end up darkening the color. You'll bring it down as well as desaturate it, and you only want to desaturate, right? You want to imagine saturation levels like this, right? Our level and highlight to shadows runs this way, right? So you only want to desaturate. You only want to bring the color down. Imagine like the little slider, right? You know, the little sliders you see in the color, you got the really strong color, and then you can bring it all the way down, right? Whereas you want to bring it brighter or darker, you know, you move the slider this way kind of thing, right? So you can imagine it kind of like that as far as, you know, how to, play with the colors and what you're going to do. And so, yeah, bright colors, use the lighter grays. Midtones, use the mid-tone gray, and dark colors, use a dark gray. And that'll desaturate the color without changing its value or its tinting. Right. Where am I? Pronham names at Chris. Are you using OBS to produce your shows? OBS. No, I am using. What the hell am I using? XSplit. The name escaped me. I pay for this damn service, yeah, and I subscribe to it, so I pay for it, and it costs me money to run. It costs me money to make this show. Every week, this show costs me money. And so, yeah, that's what I use. I use XSplit, and so far it's been pretty good. I haven't run the last update though, because you guys might remember a few episodes back I was having trouble with XSplit. It was giving me some sort of error and it wasn't loading properly, and so I, basically got frustrated and smashed the computer. And so I haven't done the update since then because I've just been concerned with, errors. And that's when I moved this computer to Windows 10 too, which was a effing mistake as well. But anyway, Yeah. So what is OBS? I don't know what OBS is. I don't know what it is. Dorn Jr. Kris, the other night I looked up mid-90s Packard Bell 486 prices and how much 4 megs of RAM and 1 gig hard drive. I felt old. Yeah, my first computer was a compact 486. And that was fairly expensive, and it only 46 and was it 256 RAM? Crap, I can't even remember how much RAM it had. Anyway. Yeah, it's a long time ago. Oh, wait, I didn't answer the second part of that guy's question, though, did I? The spatial desaturating colors. Oh, yeah. Sean's email, sorry. And then, so the second part about, he was worried about the desaturating of the colors, because I went on about that for a while. But the next part in his question was doing the moonlight. I wouldn't do it white. I wouldn't do it pale yellow, especially on the gray of the armor, right? Because you're doing like renegade spatials, which are going to be either a blue gray or a gray. Which, if you do them just gray, like they'll basically look like they'll look pre-heresy, which is fine. You know, it looks cool. I would actually go with a light blue. If you have to put the light tone on them. But in fact, what I would do is I'd give them the light blue and then I'd give them a bit of white as well. Just to give it a white, light blue, really kind of bright kind of look. So it looked like blue along the edges of where the light kind of borders, and then it'd be more of a white, closer to where the source is. But the tricky part is, how are you going to do that? Are you just going to spray like a zenithal kind of thing? Just spray them top down, and there's moonlight on them? Could do that, I suppose. Anyway, whatever you do, Sean, send me pictures because I'd like to see these. And yeah, and thank you for sending the email. As I was wandering off into other directions and realized, oh, you got to answer his question. And Yabu, Kris, so this is why you have the crowbar in your office, to train your computer when it misbehaves. Yes, exactly. Oh my god. Just the Windows machine. The Windows machine like gives me balls. The Mac, no balls. And this is the work computer. This is what I do all my video editing and everything on, is this computer. And the thing is, like stats wise, like if you look at the CPU and the RAM and everything like that, the PC has pretty much got it beat. But this runs more efficiently than the Windows machine. The Windows machine, like right now, I can hear this Windows machine constantly. I can hear its hard drive spinning up, spinning down. You hear the fan going. Man, there's all sorts of noise out of it. Prawn Hamnets, OBS is a free software package for live streaming, used a lot on Twitch. Yeah, I had considered also doing a Twitch feed again. The only thing is though is because I think about doing a Twitch feed from home, basically like a video game thing, because I do play a lot of video games, and yeah, I was thinking about doing video games again. I have I think on my Twitch channel, I think I had 1 or 2 videos of me playing Battlefield and getting my ass kicked at that. And so I was thinking, making a channel of just me getting my ass kicked and, just, rumor mad enough. Confirmed, Mac, no balls. No, but I mean, like, the only time you need big, powerful machines is if you're running big, powerful graphics. And that's video games. And, I mean, for me, I mean, like I play Xbox. I don't really need a gaming computer. I need a work computer. I need something that's going to work for me, and do the job. That's that. I don't have to constantly keep updating it, and of course it updating itself. I mean, this thing's doing it again. Windows machine, what are you doing? Ugh. Windows 10. I don't like this. Feels like somebody's on the back end of this thing. Prawn Hamden's Battlefield 1 with Kris would be something I would watch. Yeah. Oh, Battlefield 1, and that's coming out in what? Oh, it's coming out soon. But yeah, Battlefield 1. Man, I got to play the beta. Oh, man, that's so much fun. The horse is OP as hell. Apparently, they have nerfed it. They've nerfed the horse. But But yeah, I Battlefield, man, I love. And then of course, I play a lot of Battlefront as well. And the Death Star map pack will be coming out soon enough, or is it out? I think it's coming out soon enough. Where you play on the Death Star, man. The thing is, though, is my connection at home is not as fast as it could be. And if I was really seriously considering doing Twitch feeds from home, yeah, I'd like to do that. I could do them here, but I don't know. That means I'm always here, and I don't want to. I don't always want to be here. I like to go home sometimes. Where am I in the comments? No idea. Lost. What time we at? 146. Holy moly, 146. And no, that was from Daka Daka Boom Boom. Okay, let's do another email because we've got time, and we might actually get through all my emails. So again, keep the emails coming, guys, because I think this is my second last email I have. So keep them coming. Let's do this. This is from Sanaka? Pike Monster? I don't know. Oh no, his name is Sergey. Jeez. All sorts of different names. Anyway, hi Chris, my name is Sergey Laschuk. Laschuk? I'll say Laschuk. Throwing here for your name butcheredness delight. Writing to you from the number 121 episode. Never watched you live, but it's been great fun nonetheless. Oh, he's still catching up. He's back in episode 121. So this is my first models. I had no questions. He had no questions. He's talking like Chekhov. I had no questions. But one had a pop-up in itself. How to take a photo of glossy models. Into the pics we go. Okay. Had no questions, but had one pop-up by itself. How to take photo of glossy models. How to take photos of glossy models. That's really easy. You need a diffuser. Something to diffuse the light from your flash or your light sources, so that the light doesn't bounce so harshly onto the surface. You can use, say, like for example, white, pillowcase or bed sheet or something like that. You could use parchment paper, baking sheets, kind of like thing like that. Allow the light pass right through it. But otherwise, something like that to soften the light. And you'll find that the glossy models won't be quite as harsh looking. But otherwise, yeah. So here's his Necrons. And they look nice and clean. I like them. He's got, even coverage on the models. They look pretty good. Is that like a black metal he's got going on? Is it like 2 tones of metal? I think that's 2 tones of metal, eh? That's very cool. Usually people just do it black, right? But then, yeah, it's got to be because he's got a little blade edge on the thing here. With the obligatory crystals. And the crystals look like they're cut from sprue. But the sprue of what? No, probably from his gates or something, right? Probably just shape the ends. Very cool. Looks good. Looks like he's kind of done some dinging up. I don't know if that's deliberate or what. Time will tell. I said time will tell. There we go. Yeah, see, nice and even, nice and smooth. I love Necrons. I mean, for how simplistic they are, I do like Necrons. They're very cool. I have some Necron models at home that I've been thinking of painting up and putting up for sale. And I was thinking of doing something kind of fancy on them, kind of cool. I don't know if it'll work. I'm not going to tell you guys, although I think it's something we probably discussed before in the past. He's laying down. Why is he laying down? He's got the eyeballs in there. Really good work. Nice and neat. I think with the shade wash, I'd like to see a little bit more contrast between joints and like the bolt heads and things like that. Oh, this looks really, really good. I like the little crackling effect he kind of went for here. I like that. Edge highlighting is really neat. It does look like you're doing like little scratches and nicks and stuff in there. That's really cool. I think it's deliberate because it looks deliberate, and I think it's deliberate. I like that little transition in there in the coil. That's really cool. Really nice work. I know, like and people go, "Well, it's just Necrons. You just paint them silver and you give it a wash and blah blah blah." But it's still kind of tricky to do. Again, I mean, I'd like to see a little bit more contrast between some of these panel lines and these little separations and stuff. But otherwise, really good stuff. Looks pretty smooth. I noticed this on the other guys. There's a little texturing on here now. Is that the seam line on the model? I like the green. Immortals. Yeah, so you were worried about the gloss on the lines, right? That's probably what you're worried about. Yeah, just diffuse the light. Diffuse the light. Very cool. Oh, look at this guy. He looks badass. Very cool. Nice and smooth. Good application of the decals or transfers, whatever you will. So I'm thinking the entire thing is sprayed with like a gloss or something like that, protect them, because I don't see the edge of the transfer. This transfer is like a big long kind of like a rectangle, and I don't see its edges. And I don't see any discoloration or anything like that. It looks like it's right onto the surface. It's really good work there. Let's zoom in a bit here. Let's have a look at his decal work. Yeah, that's nice and solid, man. Good work. I know a lot of people, especially if they're new to this, have a lot of trouble with decals, and then decals intimidate them when, they shouldn't, because decals are really easy and they are a great way to make your model look cool. Very nice. Oh, look at this guy. Love the blue and that green. How dark it goes in the recess. It comes up. Almost looks like it's like a jade or something. That's really cool. Highlighting. I like the highlighting. Very cool stuff, man. Typically, whenever we get like long lengths like this, especially with cloth, we go a little bit brighter along the bottom edge here, and then kind of let the color transition upwards to darker. But I think it's fine like that. Yeah, definitely got through some sort of diffusion on the lights here. Yeah, because it was obscuring some of the little details here. Can't see properly. Yeah, he looks like jade. Oh, his mouth is open, eh? Yeah, that's probably green energy emanating from him. Fantastic stuff, man. I like this. This is very cool. Very different take. I don't know if I've ever seen Nightbringer done like that, where kind of ghostly. Oops, was that it? Was Nightbringer that it? That was it for Nightbringer. Yeah, that was it. That was it. So thank you. Sergey? Really nice work. Awesome. I know people rip on Necrons and think, you can't do a good paint job on Necron because it's just silver. You're just painting silver. Big whoop, But very, very nice work. I like it. Thank you for sending those pictures in. Feel free to send me more. And so let's have a look at the comments. Where are we? In Yabu at Kris, you mean more pronounced grease residue in the joints? Yeah, that might be a nice touch to those Necron models. They do look very clean, though. I like the look of the clean Necrons as well. I like them rusty looking. I mean, Necrons, you can make them look any which way, and, they look kind of cool, right? Covered in dirt, covered in blood, covered in, grease, covered in oil, grass, whatever, right? Coming out of the ground, looking like you're whatever. there's many different looks you can give those Necrons, and all of them are apt, and all of them, look cool on the models. I think done right anyway. I think one of the best ones though is Rusty. I think I'd like to see one, and I know we've talked about it in the past, doing Necrons that look like terracotta. I think doing Necrons look like terracotta would be a cool one. I don't know if anybody's attempted that one yet. And for those of you wondering what terracotta is, it's like clay pots, like ancient clay pots, like that. Prawn Hamden is nice. I think the crystal in the base should be painted to complete it. Well, he's allowing for the ambient light to make those crystals glow green, right? And really, it's a shame that we can't do that same kind of effect to make like the eyes glow green, unless of course you cast the head clear or clear green, and then you paint over it, but leave a little space on the top where light can go in and make the eyes glow. That'd be cool. That'd be cool, actually. One more email. What time are we at? 1:56. 4 minutes. We've got 4 minutes to go. Let's do Mad Cow Crazy's email because it's really short. And Mad Cow Crazy. If you look at the bottom of the pic, you'll see a Dark Eldar in the buildings like previous Kimura artwork. Regards. Okay. Cowabunga, dude. Toronto Maple Leafs Mountain Dew. Nice. And so, yeah, it does almost have a Kimura-like feeling to it, doesn't it? Well, let's have a look. But oftentimes, who the victim is in the foreground, right? Who's in the foreground? That looks like Dark Eldar. Yeah, it is Dark Eldar. That looks like a Dark Eldar helmet. That looks like a Dark Eldar helmet and a thingy. Dr. Zoidberg here. So yeah, they're attacking Kimura. They're rising up in Kimura. Again, like I said though, I mean, like they can either come in from the webway and attack Kimura. They could have built up and come in and attack Kimura, right? Because really, why would the Gene Stealer cult attack Kimura? Why would you attack these guys? The entire populace. Like normally, you don't want to go attack anybody in their home place, especially a populace that is entirely warrior caste, right? They're all murderers. So why would you want to go there with even with any kind of standing army? You'd have to outnumber them like 100 to 1 to even think that the odds are going to be in your favor. And so, yeah, Gene Stealer cult. Why would they want to attack? Unless, of course, it's like because the way they describe like the Gene Stealer humans who have given birth to Gene Stealers, and then the Gene Stealer hybrids who've given birth to more Gene Stealers, what I mean? They become very, very attached to them. Maybe they're very attached to them, and so maybe Kimura has been taking these hybrids and killing them for sport, and so the cult, the Gene Stealer cult's like, screw you guys, we're coming to get our kids, and they attack Kimura. That would be a very cool storyline, actually. That would actually paint the cult in a positive light, wouldn't it? That they're simply there to take revenge and get their children back, because the Dark Eldar were stealing their children in the night, kind of thing. They're being like all boogeyman-ish. I think that would be a very, very cool story. I think that in fact that'd be a very cool campaign. That would be very fun to save the Gene Stealer kids, save the children. I think so. I think that'd be fun. Could the Gene Stealers have infiltrated the slaves of the Dark Eldar? The entire populace? I don't know. Hair tripping balls and it's Kimura after all. Yeah. I think they could just as easily find their way. I mean, like, Gene Stealers, they're not dumb, right? I mean, especially even under the hands of like the hybrids and stuff like that, they're all not dumb. And finding Kimura doesn't seem to be too difficult. And whenever you read stories about Kimura, it seems like it's not too difficult tripping up and finding your way onto Kimura somehow. And, because the webway portals are all over the place, and all you gotta do is just, follow a raiding party back through the webway gate and just follow them back in, right? And so, like if you had, a Gene Stealer cult that was powerful enough to, they can get themselves onto a starship and, or even if the gate was on their planet, because sometimes the gates are on the planet and they just come out and, grab whoever. And so maybe, it's something like that. You know, it was a world plagued by Dark Elder for centuries, you know, and then finally it wasn't until the Gene Stealer cult that rose up, took over the planet. They said no more, incursions into the world, and so they raise a massive army and infiltrate Gamora. And they, yeah. Eldar hybrids would be terrifying. Well, the terrifying thing about the Eldar hybrids would be that they would be psychics. You'd have to make them psychics because all Eldar are psychic. And so you'd have to make, it's like zoanthropes with legs, exactly. You'd have to make them all psychics. You'd have psychic gene stealers, which is not something we see in the game. So, I mean, it mustn't be happening too often. Maybe, okay, here's a thought. Because of the shadow in the warp, right? It's that darkness that the Tyranids put out, that no psychic activity, right? What if that's detrimental to Eldar? What if that pretty much just kills Eldar? Like just that, that heavy blackness over, maybe it's only when they're fighting them at the edges or fringes that, the Eldar can hang on. But if they were to be right into the black center, that they wouldn't be able to, function properly. Or, I don't know. Because the other thing to remember too about Eldar is that Eldar are made. They're made by the old ones. They're not a naturally occurring species in the universe. They were made. And so what are Eldar made of, right? Right? Because in the stories against the war in heaven of the old ones and Necrons, right? The old ones make the Eldar, they make the Krork, which sounds like orcs, and they make the Jakoro. And so you have these three allies to the old ones. And Jokoro, anyway. You have these allies. And of course the Eldar are the ones that help, defeat the Necrons. Because the Eldar kick ass, so. But anyway, it's been fun. Speculating. I think that picture is a gene stealer cult invading Gamora. I have a hard time picturing a cult rising in Gamora. Because that would have to mean that their ambition exceeded the Eldars. Because Dark Eldar are all about their ambitions, right? And murdering and backstabbing. Do you realize how cunning you would have to be to survive in a place like that? And, I don't see it happening. I think it's an invasion into Gamora, which happens all the time apparently in the books, in the literature. Yeah. G squared cinnamon spice. Yeah, Eldar made of cinnamon spice. No, everybody always has this opinion of Eldar like being really fruitful and light in their pants or light in the loafers kind of thing, and they're not. They're really quite a dangerous species in the galaxy. Goes to Starman Deluxe. If the shadow in the warp damages the webway, bad things would undoubtedly happen. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Prawn Hamden's Eldar are made of wraithbone and marshmallows, and that could very well be it, right? Emperor's Champion. The helmets are big enough to hide their huge brains. Grant Collin, I think the big helmets are just compensating. Yeah. Yeah, this is another excellent point. Exactly. This is Kevin Leadbeater. I think Eldar birth rates would prevent an infestation. Exactly. That's another one, right? Because the other one is that Dark Eldar, they do a lot of cloning. Dark Eldar do a lot of cloning. Craftworld Eldar, and I don't know about Exodite Eldar, but because it's not really a lot known about Exodite Eldar. But Craftworld Eldar, yeah, their birth rates are really, really low. So, infesting, a little section of the craft world, that would take centuries to build up any sizable type of force, just because the birth rates are so low. Yeah, that's an excellent point there, Kevin. I forgot about the low birth rate of Eldar. So there you go. I don't think that the Gene Stealer cults could infiltrate Eldar. That's my reasoning. So there. So na boo boo. If you have any questions, comments, you're commission painters, you want to drum up some extra service, or you just want to show off what you're working on, send it to Kris@miniwargaming.com. Join us on Facebook. Way the Brush Facebook, where you can ask your questions. You can post your pictures if you want. You can, guys have free reign there. And I'm surprised how little, we do a lot of talking on the Facebook page. But hey, it's there for you guys. And, again, do whatever you like. Well, not whatever you like, but, within reason, of course. Way the Brush t-shirts are available, of course, to look stylish and, a connoisseur of all that is right and powerful in this universe. And, of course, the steady hand grips, which are sold through miniwargaming.com store. They will be restocked. Of course, we always post on the Facebook page, Mini Wargaming Facebook page, and I post on my Facebook and as well as the Way the Brush Facebook page as well, whenever we restock those. But I have not made any more, so I have got to get my ass in gear and get some more made. Because I know there's still a few of you guys out there who want them, and of course, as word spreads, it would be really great for anybody who has purchased them to do a review on the Mini Wargaming store. There's a little section right in where you buy the tool. You can leave a review. I think it'd be really great if some of you guys could do that for me. I think that'd be really awesome. I'd love you a long time, and yeah. I think that's about it. We covered everything. I think we had a few laughs today. We covered a lot of ground, and I think we've been pretty good. So so send me emails. I'm caught up on emails. I'm all caught up on emails. So I have no emails. So if you guys don't send me any emails, I'm going to assume nobody watches this and nobody has any questions, and so I can pretty much just not do the show, right? Because I'm only going to do the show if you guys need help. If you guys don't need help, then I'm not doing the show. But if you need help, then I'm happy to be here and help you. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys next week at the same bat time and the same bat channel. Although it's not really a bat channel. It's more of a painting channel. But yeah. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Little known fact, Way the Brush shirts also help protect from warp entities in the same manner as a psychic hood. You know what? That's exactly true. There has been 2 incursions since I've been wearing my shirt that it has protected me from warp entities. The enslavers, those big things that have like the tentacles and stuff like that. The enslavers, yeah, it protects you against those guys. Not the brain slug. The brain slug, I'm afraid there's nothing that can help you from that. But anyway, I'll see you guys later.